It's
Hello?
washing time. Oh, sorry.
It's washing time.
It's
Honestly,
washing
that's
time.
better than whatever I was gonna say.
I just wanted to. I just wanted it to sound so exciting. It's washing time.
It just sounds like it's like Power Rangers, like it's morphin' time,
Yeah, 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 yeah. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I was just thinking it's been a year since we've
It's
really
been.
done one of these.
I can't believe it's been a year. It
I can't
feels.
either.
It doesn't feel like it's been a year.
No, it really
But
doesn't. And I feel like I've looked through the chats and I was like, was it really a year? And then it was a lot of us like going back and forth and then
yeah,
never really settling. It'd just be
no,
like, you
I
want to
know.
record pretty soon? You're like, yeah, that sounds good. And like 2 months to go by, you're like, all right, we really should do something soon. You're just like, yeah, we really
Oh
should.
man.
And then it was just, and then the new year
Well,
hit, and I was like, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna make sure of it.
yeah, I'm sure you're realizing this now, but and I definitely feel this. The older I get, the much faster time goes.
Oh yeah,
Like a year goes by, and you're just like, wow, where did that go? It
yeah,
it 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 just it zooms by. Like when I was younger, man, time seemed to like not. You're stuck in a car or something, and everything just took long.
hmm
Now everything just goes so quick. It's crazy.
yeah. I mean, even going to school, you'd be like, oh, fourth grade, and then it's like fifth grade. Like every grade felt like it was 10 years apart.
Oh, I know. Yeah, just they just dragged on and on and on and on.
Yeah, but
But
now it's
now
just,
everything zooms. Yeah.
yeah,
You get busy with something, and then you just all of a sudden you sort of realize, "Oh my God, like I have been busy with this for a year." Like it's just been
yeah.
it's it just happens like that, doesn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah. How's all your stuff going? You mainly streaming now? You doing video? Like what are you doing?
Streaming, well, they made the change on Twitch where you could stream to YouTube at the same
Oh yeah.
time. So I've been doing that, and
Mhm.
that's been all right. It's just being lazy.
Right.
It all ended up on YouTube anyway. So now
Mhm.
it just really just ends up on YouTube, and there's not a heck of a lot to do to get it there, which is kind of nice.
Mhm.
But yeah, just streaming, just playing. I've been playing a lot of the new Path of Exile since it came out.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's been
Uh,
good.
it's been good, yeah. They just had like a really big patch to fix some of the big issues. Not like with builds, but just like, you know, it's early access, it's just come out, and
Right.
there's just a lot of little annoying things, frustrating things, monsters that are too powerful that one shot you out of nowhere and stuff like that. So it's quite a big patch. Like they changed like some of the end game stuff and whatever. So
I know a lot of
yeah,
people complained they didn't let you respec for free. So their builds
yeah,
were
that was changed like before Christmas, before they went
Oh,
on like a
okay.
big break. They changed some of that, so that's been all right. But yeah, I mean, there's been gripes for sure, and I feel like the stuff that they've changed has been pretty good, and I think the next big patch is going to be more like balanced stuff, so
Mhm.
like really broken builds that are going to get nerfed and stuff that people have been using to like one shot bosses and stuff will probably get nerfed and whatnot. So, but
Or
yeah, it's been
did
fun. It's a bit
did
of
you
a journey.
did you play a lot of the first Path of Exile?
I played a fair bit, but not like consistently. Like
Mm.
I probably played about like 500 hours, but like spread across multiple years. Like
Yeah.
just like I kind of get into it if a league came out that I really like the look of, I'd get into it for like a couple of weeks and try a couple of builds or whatever, and then move on. But um, this has been really good. It reminds me of Diablo 2 when Diablo 2 came out. So
Yeah.
it's got some of the same sort of things that made Diablo 2 very addictive and made you sort of play it a lot. Because
Yeah.
just remember being a kid collecting Stones of Jordan and trading them and stuff. I like that Path of Exile is like open like that. Like a lot of
Yeah.
the Diablo games, everything is like soul bound and you can't trade anything and there's no auction house anymore and stuff. And I like the player economy stuff, so
Yeah.
it's been pretty good.
I
But
do know you're always famous for that one clip where you open the talent tree and then you close it right away. So it is kind of
Yeah,
funny that now you do play it,
I
even though
do
that
play it
doesn't count.
now. Yeah, I do. I have been playing it, and I don't find the talent tree as daunting anymore either. So
Yeah, I think
it just shows people can
especially
change.
they really can. I think especially because I once you like understand the game, you realize that most people have figured out the ideal build anyway, and they're like, "Here's 8 billion choices," and they're like, "Here's the best one," and you're
Yeah,
like, "Oh, okay."
yeah,
It's like it doesn't
yeah.
really matter.
No, I know. That's the thing. I think the devs wanted to slow the game down, you know? Like a lot of the boss fights are, there's all these sort of telegraphed moves that you have to dodge, and they made it a little bit punishing, a little bit unforgiving, and they were kind of going for almost like a Dark Souls sort of approach to it. They really wanted to slow the game down, but everybody's just figured out how to just get back to blasting really quick. So every build just like just like clears 4 screens ahead and zips through everything and stuff. So I don't know. I think at first people liked the slow pace, and then I think people just kind of thought, oh well, I just want it to be a bit more like the first one, and I just blast through everything. So
Yeah,
that's where we're at now. I don't know.
I definitely
We'll
found this one a bit easier to get into.
Yeah, it looks well, I mean, it looks nice. Like I think it stands up against Diablo, like in terms of, sound design, the graphics, environments, like all that kind of stuff. It is really it is like a really beautiful game, even though it is kind of like a depressing theme and stuff like that. But they've done a really good job on all like the technical stuff.
Hmm.
So it's just making the game super addictive and replayable for the people that like to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Not not piss them off so much that they leave before it gets started. So I,
That is
I
pretty
feel like
important.
they're definitely sort of they've got that in mind as well. So I don't know. They seem to be doing pretty good. So we'll see.
You mainly you mainly just stream? Like, is that just your main thing? Like, you don't do any podcasts or any like
Oh no,
standalone
yeah, I
YouTube
do a
stuff?
podcast. I do a podcast with Lewis and Empyrean Flax called the Triforce. We
Oh,
do
I see.
that.
Oh, I think
We
I
do
have
that
heard of
once
that.
a week. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it is just three old men yelling at the clouds. Basically, that's the whole podcast. You
Yeah,
know, and myself
that's
and Flax have lots of kids. Lewis does not, but he just joins in anyway.
yeah.
Talks about when he was young and what his parents must have gone through and stuff, and it's all complain about like taxes and
Yeah.
price of bread and stuff like that.
Just
It's
really
pretty good.
appealing to the young crowd out there
Yeah,
now.
absolutely. Yeah, gosh, yeah. So
It's that's kind of what our Cox and Crendors become too,
yeah,
because
well,
it's a
yeah,
little more like goofy at times because we are mimicking a news show. We still do like weather and sports and all that.
that's great.
Yeah,
That
so
is good.
that
Yeah.
adds a little variety, but it still kind of boils down to like two people that are older than most people on the internet yell at the clouds.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we're just like we're just all getting old. We've all been around for like well, I mean, you guys have been around even longer than we have, but I feel like we've all been around for a long time, and people come and go, and some
Hmm.
people are still around and some aren't, and it's been a weird one, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Been good
it's
good and weird.
yeah, good, good and weird.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
for sure.
I always kind of compare it to like professional baseball,
Yeah.
which I've probably brought up before, but much like many old people, I bring up the same stories over and over, and they're like, "Oh God, not this one again! Here goes Grandpa." Uh, it's because like we've done it for so long. It's like you play 16 years in the league. Like I started 2009, and so
2009. Yeah, it is a long time ago.
yeah, it's I mean people didn't have phones really, like it was, or if they
No,
did, it was extremely rare.
that's true. Yeah, I know. I mean, a lot's changed, but I mean, everything about it has changed. Really, I think people content's changed. The kind of stuff that people seek out and want to watch now has changed. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
more. Even like I started in 2011, so
Mm-hmm.
a little bit after you did. But the content felt a lot more, I don't know, innocent back then.
Yeah,
There
it's
wasn't a lot of emphasis on these. on these people that are very, like political or like people that just react to stuff.
Right.
Remember we had like the on YouTube we had like the react the
The
cam
React
girls that
girls, yeah.
reacted. Yeah, yeah. That those were the reacts of the
Yeah.
time.
Well, they could
You didn't have
respond to the
anything.
videos too. They literally like,
That's it. Yeah,
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 they would just feed off that.
yeah. So I don't know. It felt different. It probably wasn't that much different, but a lot of the people that were watching stuff back then are now old too,
Yeah.
or older at least.
Yeah,
And
that's kind of the thing. Is like everybody's grown up with it, so they're all older. So I know a lot of
yeah.
my fans be like, I started watching you when I was like 16, and now I'm like dead. Like, oh wow, cool.
I've died. I recorded this message for you just before I went. Yeah, no, it's Jesus Christ.
But yeah, it's because I mean, kids grow up and now they want to do it because they've watched people like us do
Of
it.
course.
So
Yeah.
that kind of feeds into it too, which is terrible because it's competition. And we really don't need that. So
Well,
please stop.
it's competition, but it's such it's a very like more than ever now. It's just so saturated, isn't it? There's
Yeah.
so many different people that you could watch. There's so many, so much different content. There's so many formats and people who are sort of like at the top of those formats and not and stuff. It's I feel like back then it was pretty easy to just like for us just play Minecraft or play WoW or whatever was big at the time. But we were sort of just playing what was big at the time anyway because that's what was big at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's way more games now. There's like I mean if you look on Twitch, there's so many kind of top games, but all of them are really sweaty.
Oh yeah. Or
you know,
just 18 plus. You get a lot of
yeah,
those.
I can't play like Valorant and stuff like that. I just I tried playing Overwatch for a while and it was fun until it got really frustrating and I mean there's a lot of really sort of competitive games that seem to do really well that I know I'm just too old to play. I don't
Dude,
know.
I've kind of hit that point where I used to love League of Legends. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely loved it. I played it all the time. I got to one season, I was like, I'm going to see how high I can get. I hope I get to plat. I hit plat. I was like, what a
Yeah.
grind. And now I was like, maybe I'll try again. And then I just, like, after 5 games of doing my placements, every one of them was a loss. And I was just like, you know, I could have done so many other things.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like my jaw feels tight, like my TMJ's like firing up. It's like getting
Yeah.
stressed out. I'm like
I
feeling a
know.
little like dizzy. I'm just like, I don't think my body can even handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of get to the point where you're just like this is just kind of just feels like a bit of like a waste of time, like I kind of got to the point with a lot of these games where it's just like this is just going nowhere. Like I'm not
Yeah.
not having fun. I'm never going to get better. Like, I probably have more fun if I could get better, but just don't know if I've got it in me to even try, like I'll
Yeah. And
just
now
go
it's
back
that
to playing.
oversaturation as well in that aspect. Like now there's kids growing up, they're way better than us.
Oh
So
my
it's
God.
like I'm
Yeah.
gonna start just falling in the ranks.
Well,
So
my
it's like,
son just turned 13, and him and all of his friends call each other bro all the time, and they're playing Fortnite like all the time. But like I watch them play, and I'm like, geez, these guys would absolutely destroy me. Like it'd be embarrassing, because I mean it's a huge part of like how he socializes too. Like
mhm.
they get home from school, boot up the PlayStation, and that's them. Like
Yeah.
sometimes they're just on there in a lobby, not even playing anything, and they're all just gassing around and stuff. And it's great to see because that kind of has changed a lot too. Like kids just don't play outside like they used to. I know like people always say it, but it's true. They don't.
Yeah.
It's just there's just so much for them to do inside and so many ways for them to connect with their friends with stuff inside that's what they want to do. You're like like on the weekend we're like, oh, let's go do something, and he's just like, no, oh God, I don't want to do that. Well, how long are we gonna be? He's
Wow, he
like,
sounds like me.
I know, and me. I'm the same.
It's kind of. I feel like I'm a bit younger than you, so I kind of had like the prehistoric caveman version of that,
Yeah.
where I would come home from school and I would go on TeamSpeak and Ventrilo with my friends. But it was
Right.
like we would talk to each other and it'd be like, "Hey, you're what's going on over there?" Like you're booting up like walkie talkies or something. But like
Yeah.
we'd still like chill in TeamSpeak lobbies or Ventrilo and talk and like play WoW. Like, dude, this
Yeah.
is 2003, 2004. Play like RTS games and stuff. It was like we
Sure. Yeah.
just got off of having dial-up internet, so it was like,
Yeah.
dude, wow, the internet's like fast now. Like this is
I
insane.
know. That's when like cable came out, right? Cable
Yeah.
like internet, and it was so much faster.
Or
That was
there's
great.
DSL. That's another one.
DSL, yeah.
Like,
That's I think that was DSL was like the main thing in the UK, cuz 2003 was when I moved here,
mm-hmm.
and they didn't have kind of like cable internet, or they might have had it but they just didn't have it here, but
Right.
everything was ADSL here. So but it was good too. It was fast. I remember, I mean, I played WoW on it for years, and until we got fiber.
Mm-hmm.
We're
It
on the fiber
was
now.
yeah, you're on the fiber.
Oh,
It just
so
sounds
on
like
the
an ad.
fiber. We're so on the fiber.
We're so on the fiber.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, because I remember his dad, like my friend's dad, we'd go over to his house and we'd still like play outside, and then he'd be like, "Yo, let's go play games or play on like GameCube." Like we'd play Medal of Honor or just like some like GoldenEye on like
Nice. Yeah.
N64 GoldenEye. So I remember.
Oh God.
But
Yeah.
his
That
dad would yell at us and be like, "Get outside!" Like, okay,
was okay.
yeah. Which
Going.
which is funny because
Yeah.
now his dad, literally like a few years ago, was like, "Yeah, my other son, he's like doing absolutely nothing. Can you like hire him to do some YouTube stuff?" And I was like,
Oh
"No,
God.
no, I can't."
You should hire him. You can get him on as maybe you can get him like to curate topics for you for your podcast or something cool like that.
Yeah, I
That'd
mean,
be
I
fun.
could, but I won't.
No, no,
It's in fact, I just don't really like hiring anybody, to be honest.
no. It's much easier to not hire anyone.
Yeah,
Like like you're responsible for them. You
yeah.
gotta pay them, and sometimes they're sick and they ask you questions sometimes and stuff, and like, oh
Plus, like, they're not gonna care about what your stuff is as much as you are.
no, that's it. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
you want to you gotta you want to have like ultimate control over what goes out.
yeah.
What do you what's your like your main thing now? Are you you're still streaming, or are you just like doing other stuff?
I'm still streaming. I do a variety of things, which I think is the healthiest for me, just in general, and probably for just the career.
Yeah.
Because I do streaming still, mainly at night, just kind of chilling.
Uh-huh.
I only stream for like 2-3 hours, so it's
Yeah,
like nothing
that's
crazy.
fair enough. Yeah.
But then I do YouTube quite a bit with WoW, so that's my pointless top 10,
Right.
which I've like fully leaned into the past couple of years, and it's grown quite a bit, which is really nice because that's kind of the thing I've loved most about WoW is the environments and the little details in the world. And
Sure.
so
Yeah.
I just it's the type of evergreen content too, because like the patches and the expansions and the game changes, but I'm like, here's lamps. And the people are
Yeah,
just like,
right.
oh yeah, like you don't need like you can watch it now, you could watch it like years from now, and it's still gonna be pretty relevant.
Absolutely. And I mean, well, the thing is with that, the environments and stuff in WoW are always great.
Yeah.
Like the music, the sounds, like the look of the environments, the detail, all of that stuff is always great. It doesn't matter what expansion it was. If it was a bad one or a good one or whatever, like those teams always do a really good job. Like
Hmm.
it's very rare that they would have something that didn't look, really good,
Hmm.
sort of thing. So I think basing content around that side of the game is, you can never go wrong.
Yeah.
It's always going to
And
be good stuff. There's always going to be little doodads to find and stuff.
yeah, and that's kind of the fun part too is you go back to those expansions where you're like, man, this expansion sucked, and you're like, actually, there's some cool stuff now that I don't have
Yeah,
to like play the game for that expansion.
exactly. Yeah, you don't have to suffer through like the bad systems of that expansion or whatever. Yeah.
Hmm.
I never got to play like the most recent one, but the most recent one is like part of like a trilogy, right? Like there's going to be three two more related expansions to it or something.
Yeah, so they did Dragonflight, which was pretty fun. I enjoyed
Dragonflight
Dragonflight.
was great. I played that. I played that for months when it came out. I really enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
liked it.
and so this one's kind of more of the same, but it's a little more like underground. But people thought it'd be more underground, but they've done a really good job of making the underground zones actually feel like you're not underground, especially
Yeah, they're
a couple
huge,
of
right? You can
yeah.
fly under there and stuff.
Mm.
I played it a little bit. I did that bit where you fly up that like massive
Oh yeah.
staircase, like to
Yep.
get back up to the top side. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. And so yeah, this is part of the trilogy for the story, but again, I'm somebody that just skips cutscenes. So
Yeah, I'm
like
the same.
yeah, I don't care. I'm mainly flying around. I'm like, dude, look at that grass. Like I
Yeah.
truly am just looking for like the little details and art and everything
I
like
feel
that.
bad sometimes, but I do skip a lot of like the, story. And I tried playing Final Fantasy 14
Hmm.
because everybody was raving on about it. This was before I think it's around the time Shadowbringers came out, right? Which
Hmm.
was I think it was in a really good spot and everybody loved it and was really enthusiastic about it. But
Hmm.
the first part of Final Fantasy 14 is the really like the old bit, the original bit that came out, and the
Hmm.
game kind of wasn't great when it first came out. It's gotten way better and therefore way more popular. But when it first came out, it was almost a big flop until I think the guy that runs it now took over, sort of thing.
Hmm.
But getting through that took like 100 hours, and it was a slog. Like I
Oh yeah.
skipped every cutscene, every bit of die. I just could not handle it, and I was streaming it in chat the whole time. We're like, "Don't worry, it gets better after like 70 hours. Just persevere." And like honestly, like as much as I liked some of the systems in the game and stuff, I appreciated them. The like those side that side was fine. The other side never got better. Like just continued to skip everything. It just wasn't for me,
Yeah.
like I know a lot of people who are like, it's amazing, the story's so good, I'm so immersed, I love this, like wait till you get to this part. And like I'd get to the part and I'd be like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like this sucks. I just skipped it. It was so boring. And like I became that guy, like
That's very much me as well because they're
yeah.
just like try Final Fantasy and I was like I'll play it because the fishing seems cool and the fishing was
Yes.
cool.
Oh my god, the fishing was so good.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it
just
was
everything
exciting,
else
right? You
was
remember when you went to like that trippy dolphin bit, like, and it would
yeah.
just go like crazy, and you'd catch like a million fish.
Yeah. No, that
Yeah,
was
I love
awesome.
that.
That was like
Yeah,
the
I thought
best
it was
fishing in
great.
any game.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I did a lot of fishing in that. I loved it. It was good,
Yeah. And
and I
then
loved it. Was so exciting because you could like kind of you could set your schedule around it because it was like at specific times in the day.
oh yeah.
So you could be like, okay, I'm gonna do this quickly, and then I'm gonna trade this, and then I'm just gonna do a bit of crafting, and then that's a perfect amount of time for fishing to start. You'd have to like run down to the place to catch the boat and everything. There's like loads of people waiting for it. It's great. Yeah.
It's like how me and Jesse are kind of polar opposites because Jesse is the Final Fantasy man. Like
Yes.
he
Yeah.
loves
Yeah.
it, he plays it, he loves story. Like he'll always get involved in any story game, and sometimes I'll just be like, I'll check this game out, and I'm like, I can't do this.
No.
Like I don't know what it is. I can't get into video game stories. Like
No, I'm the same. I find it
it's
hard. I like systems in games, Like I
yeah,
like I like kind of figuring out what to do, knowing what I'm doing, and then just kind of like grinding it out. Like
yeah.
fishing in a game.
Mm,
I don't know. I like doing like repetitive things and with a promise of potentially getting something cool for doing it.
yeah. Or I like stories that's just kind of like smaller scale stories, like little side
Sure.
quest characters or like
Yeah.
side story things. Like, oh, here's a quest
Yeah.
chain in this zone, and you help these people, and they're like, hey, thanks. And you're like, okay, cool. And then you kind of just never see them again. You're like, all
Yeah.
right, that was
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
But when
Yeah,
it's
I'm the
that
same.
overarching kind of big story, I'm just like, I
Oh,
just
I
don't
know.
care.
It's kind of like I know, like some people get excited for it, but like when you do like a bit, and it's like, okay, run here now. You watched a cutscene or skipped a cutscene. It's like, okay, now you run over here, and you think, okay, I'm gonna run over here. Maybe there's something to do, and then you run over, and it's like another cutscene, and it's just like,
The
come
God
on,
of
man,
War
like.
experience.
Yeah, let me skip the whole thing, even the bit running in between. Like, oh, you don't need that. I just, I just want to skip it.
Yeah,
I
like
got fishing to do or something, like, yeah.
God of War was really like that. Like I remember
Ki-
trying it for like an hour, and I think I hit two buttons, and I was like, I'd rather just watch a movie. Like
Yeah, yeah.
just let me do nothing and watch it at that point.
I I heard God of War's pretty good. Well, or like people that's another one that people like, raved on about it.
Mm.
I never played it though. I never got around to playing it. Maybe I should have. I don't know. There's definitely games like I've never played Elden Ring.
Elden Ring was fun, but I
Yeah,
played it
well,
in a terrible way where I didn't truly play it. I had NPCs and like guards fight every battle for me, or I recruited people from chat to fight for me. So I did a pacifist run,
nice.
and that actually made
Did
it fun. I
did
enjoyed
it
that.
work?
Yeah, I only had to fight one fight, which was a like you had to fight it. Like I couldn't just skip it.
And how
So,
did you do on that one?
it was I just used a shield to
Right.
bash, and like that was really it. And so I that was the only fight I did the entire game, and I just because I love exploring, so it was fun exploring that world and seeing all the things, and like
Yeah.
riding around, being like, "Whoa, that's really cool." And that was it. That's all I wanted to do, and I enjoyed it quite a
Nice.
bit.
Yeah, I mean I mean it won a lot of awards and stuff. Like I think, people are people love it. Like
Mm.
I think there's a DLC that came out that everybody loved as well,
Oh
which
yeah.
is it's good to see. I mean it's good to see a game do so well because there's so many games that don't do well anymore, Like there's a
Mm.
lot of hype for them and they just don't quite deliver or whatever, and I don't know. It's crazy.
There's so many more
But
games now, though, is the thing. So,
yeah,
so
I
you were
know.
mentioning that earlier, where it's like it's just the oversaturation where everybody's making a game, and
Yeah.
it used to be like very few games came out, or it was like you knew what games were coming out, and it's like here's the list, and then that was
Yeah.
kind of it, and then some indies sprinkled in here or there. But now it's just like there's 500 games every day. It's
Oh my
oh my
god.
god.
And like the lifestyle games too. God, there's so many of them.
Oh yeah.
Like recycling center simulator, well, like power wash simulator. There's so
Yeah.
many like, little mundane job simulators, and I always end
Hmm.
up buying them all and playing them as well. And there's definitely some great ones, but God, there's definitely some stinkers out there as well. Like
Hmm.
this is one of the best ones. I
Yeah.
know it's not for everyone, but man, this game's great.
It really is.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
the
like
perfect background kind of chill game.
yeah, it's like painting. It's like art. Like
It really is like art.
yeah,
It's yeah, it's the same way that we're not really into the big story games. Some people aren't into these games. Just that's the beauty of it. Is everybody's got their
that's
own games now.
that's true. That's true. It's always a tough one, like because I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile, and I don't think my chat particularly care for it. Like, don't
Hmm.
get me wrong. There's a couple of people in chat who are into it, playing it, and like if I'm asking a question about it or whatever, they're chipping in and stuff. But for the most part,
Hmm.
people are just like, oh my god, when are we gonna play something else or whatever. But
Right.
it's always tough because you just think like, yeah, I mean, I could play something else, but the next game I play, people are just gonna hate as well because it again, there's so many games and there's so many genres now, and it's just like it is really hard to blanket like please everybody,
Yeah.
like whatever you pick is always going to just be somebody will love it and somebody will hate it,
Yeah.
it's just like
You just
thinking
gotta
about
play what
that.
you want.
Yeah, I mean that's all I've always ever done, but like some things just do better than others as well, but
Yeah, and it's hard
I think
not
it's
to pay attention to it when it's your livelihood. Being
yeah,
like,
of
oh, my
course.
views are down. Am I finally
Yeah,
crashing and burning?
yeah, that's it. I mean, there's always like an element of that. Although over the years, like I think like when I first started, I was like really aware of that and not wanting to like, make any big mistakes or whatever.
Hmm.
But now that I've been around for a long time, I just kind of think, well, you know,
Yeah.
it's got to end sometime. Just go out in a blaze of, glory, just playing some game that everybody hates watching me play, and then that'll be it. You
And they'll
know,
never tune into anything else
they'll
ever again.
never tune in ever again. No,
It'll be the
it's
realization. They're just like, why am I watching this guy?
yeah, that's it. I mean, they're bound to realize one day, it's gonna this will be the straw that broke the camel's back. Finally done. Just, oh God, I can't take one more minute of that guy in that stupid game. I don't want to watch this anymore.
My
I don't know.
my last couple years have been a lot of uh either WoW a couple days a week and then Pokemon like Kaizo Ironmon on a
Right.
lot of the other days. I don't know if you've seen Kaizo.
No, I've never seen. I'm not like really into Pokemon at all. Like I know of it. Just my son's been into it. My daughter was into it a bit and stuff, but
Mm,
I completely missed out on Pokemon because I was like by the time it came out and was getting popular, I was like a little bit older already. So I
oh
just
yeah, that makes sense.
just yeah, just I'm probably there's probably a lot of people in my generation who are the same, like
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, there'll definitely be some that were, got into it and have been into it sort of thing, but I
Mm,
was just never one of them.
yeah, I know Jesse, he's only played like the first one
Yeah.
and that's like pretty much it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's kind of in the same boat, but
Yeah.
it's like I kind of obviously grew up with him, but I'm
Yeah.
still fond of like the first couple ones. So I don't really
Sure.
care that much about the new ones. And so this challenge came along a few years ago called Kaizo Ironmon. It's where you take one Pokemon
Right.
and you beat the game with that one Pokemon. But the catch also is that everything's randomized. So the
Right.
stats are random, the moves are random, the trainers are all random, like everything's random. So you're essentially just playing Pokemon slot machine, and I love it
Right. Right.
because it's I love RNG and
Right.
rolling dice and all that, and then it's just on top of that, just kind of other people love watching it as well. So you get uh, the double whatever you want to call it of like people love watching it, I love playing it, but it does hit a point where I'm like I do want to play something else as well.
Well, I mean, you should play some Path of Exile because that game is full of dice rolling RNG. Like they removed the crafting system and replaced it with dice rolling RNG. Like it's pure RNG. Like I played like 300 hours of that game and I still haven't upgraded my boots because of RNG. Like it's insane. I don't know. Maybe you'd like that. Maybe
I
you'd
mean,
like.
I do have a level 41, I think.
Right.
So
Okay. Also,
I've played a
you've
decent amount.
dabbled. You
Yeah,
have played. Yeah.
and it
Okay.
is fun, but I've kind of hit the point where I'm like, I might just keep waiting for them to add more stuff.
Well, I mean, it'll be like the first game where they'll have leagues every couple of months
Yeah.
eventually. But I think there's still loads of PoE1 content that is just going to be sort of baked into it already. So you'll probably have like this long period where existing leagues will release, like for
Hmm.
it, and then become like part of the game, and then it'll probably after it's like released or whatever, it'll probably start getting like newer leagues like for PoE2. But
Hmm.
I mean that's pretty far down the road. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like enough should change, but maybe not quick enough for some people.
Yeah. No, I see what you're
Um,
saying. I mean, I'll probably hop in the next league or something, just
Yeah,
because I feel like a lot
yeah,
of people also will.
yeah, yeah. I
It's
think it's I think it's one of those games where it'll change enough and people like sort of buy in early and say, yeah, this is how I play this game. Like
hmm
I play it for 2 weeks every couple of months when new stuff comes out, and I think that's fine too. I think a lot of people played the first game like that as well.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's
No.
kind of how people play WoW. They'll play for a few
Yeah.
weeks or a month and then be like, "That was
Yeah.
fun," and then come back a while later, and people are like,
Yeah.
"The game's dying," and it's like, I mean, it's fine if people aren't constantly playing it nonstop as their only game.
I feel like expansion releases are always popular for WoW though. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people come back just to see the new stuff or to play for a couple of months and whatever. Like It's weird. When WoW came out, it was like the only game pretty much.
Yeah,
There was a couple of other like good games, but they weren't like big immersive online games, you know?
yeah.
There were like loads of like single player games still coming out around that time.
I
So
remember
WoW was like the
when,
filler game, right? You played it in between big stuff coming out.
well, back then I was in high school, so I had nothing to do, so I only played WoW. But I remember before I played WoW, I played Halo 2.
Right.
So I was playing online Halo 2 quite a bit, and then all my friends were like, "Yo, this game's coming out called World of Warcraft." And I was like, "Wow, you got to pay money for that to play?" I was like, "I'm not going to do that." And then I heard them all playing it, and I was like, "I got to get this game." And so,
Had you played any of like the RTSs or anything?
no, I'd never played any.
Right. So you like this was your first introduction to Warcraft. Like you
Yeah.
didn't know anything about it.
Yeah. And so when I started playing it, it was like mind-blowing. It was just like
Yeah.
this game is insane.
Yeah, it
Especially when
was.
you're, 14 or whatever.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I'd grown up on the RTSs. I used to play them. You know, me and my friends would like direct connect on modems with each other's
Hmm.
computers and play Warcraft 2 and stuff. So I remember reading about World of Warcraft and it coming out. But when I was reading about World of Warcraft, there was also also like a lot of negative press about EverQuest, you know, and it
Oh
was
yeah.
like how addictive it was. People were like in real life getting married in it and stuff. And like
Yep.
because none of that had ever really happened before, people were
Mm.
like, "Oh my god, I could never play a game like that. That was so like, you know,
Yep.
involved. I wouldn't want to be addicted to it and stuff like that." But then, you know, WoW came out and everybody's like, "Oh my god, I don't give a shit. I'm just playing WoW.
Yeah.
I'm addicted as hell. Like, I can't stop."
And the funny part
Um,
is now there's so many more addictive games just on phones
oh my
and like
god, yeah,
everything.
like yeah, like even like Candy Crush and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've never played it, but man, you see people playing all those games, like the little Tetrisy type games, like the
Mm.
puzzle solving, you know, the match 3 games and stuff, and like
Or the gotcha games. All those
yeah, I mean,
gotcha
I've
games.
played a couple of those. Like I don't know. Every once in a while, I like maybe like you know, I just like a bit of, you know, I like a game that just going to give me like here 40 pulls for free. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh hey, look, I got another one in short shorts. That's the one I wanted, and you know what I mean. It's just
Yeah.
like yeah,
I mean, if
I played.
a lot of those games, if it wasn't for the, the short shorts, a lot of
Yeah,
people wouldn't be playing
they'd be
them.
dead in the water.
Yeah. There's definitely that
Ah,
element.
yeah, I know. You gotta get some short shorts every once in a
Yeah.
while. Or some dudes with like crazy abs, like the
Yeah.
craziest abs you've ever seen.
Yeah. Whatever floats your boat. You gotta,
Absolutely.
you gotta get some.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's, I kind of get mine with Warhammer because that's my like old man hobby now is I play Warhammer
What
in
like
real life.
in real life, so you'll go to like a place and play it or have people over and play it or just
Yeah,
play it on your
so
own?
I got into it like 5 6 years ago now because I
Right.
did it a bit as a kid, and so I was like, oh, it'd be cool to get back into it. I've played like Total War and Blood Bowl and all that stuff, so I was like, it'd be cool to
Yeah.
like actually build and paint a miniature, and so I did that, and then I was like, this is really fun. Like, it's calming. It's one of those things where instead of building like toy trains or planes or whatever, you're building like war guys. So you're like, yo, this is sick. I built my Lizardmen. And then after you do that, you're like, well, maybe I'll play the game because that'd be kind of cool. And so you meet people like in the store. Like there's a bunch of game stores. You can meet people they want to play. So they're playing like Magic and other games. But then some people are like, yo, I'll play Warhammer. And so
Nice.
just from doing that for years, like we formed a lot of game groups. So there's like one guy, he's got a pretty nice house we go to for he's got like a gaming table and everything, so he'll just be like, anybody want to play Warhammer, or like we'll play board games and stuff, so it's kind of our old man
Nice.
group
Yeah, no,
thing.
that's great. I
Yeah.
think like I know like at the you never been out to the Yogscast office, have you? Like the old one or the new one. But
No.
like the new one, they've got a big because they record a lot of board games, but they've got like, you know, one of those big looks like a pool table, but it's like a gaming table. It's got
Yeah.
like drink holders and stuff.
Hmm.
And even when they're not recording, there's always somebody playing something. Like last time I went out there, we were playing this like was it like Seven Wonders or something? But it
Oh
was
yeah.
the Lord of the Rings version
Hmm.
and stuff, like all these different board games that I'd never even heard of, but like Lewis is mad into them. He's got this huge collection, and he's always every time I go over, he's always like, he's always got something like that we
Yeah.
can play and stuff. But it's great. It's kind of like I like games generally, but board games just feel nice. You just get a couple of cokes and just just play some games. It's just like, I don't know. There's probably some nostalgia to it as well, but it just feels nice, just to hang out with people and play games in person. Like
Yeah.
not always necessarily video games.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. There is that nice social element where it's like, and they have similar interests. Like they like playing games too, or they also like just kind of nerdier
Yeah,
things. But
yeah.
yeah, it's just nice getting together with real people in real life and just hanging out and
Yeah, and
playing.
and people who are like passionate about something at the same level as you, or even
Yeah.
more so, like and sometimes it's hard. Like if you work somewhere, you might work somewhere and you might have a colleague that you like, but you don't have like similar hobbies,
Hmm.
like, and if you don't know like anybody else with that hobby, and you took like, your colleague along, they'd probably be like, "Oh yeah, this is interesting enough or whatever." But like the likelihood of them getting into it the same way you're into it is quite slim. But
Hmm.
I feel like if you meet people at these places, they're already like they're in, they're invested.
Yeah. Especially when it's like a nerdier thing already, like Warhammer. So it's like, you guys
Yeah.
also like magic? And they're just like, oh, yeah, of course we do.
Of
It's just
course
like,
I like Magic the Gathering. I love Magic the Gathering.
so yeah, they just
Yeah.
all kind of connect together.
Wait, do you play Magic as well?
I play some magic, yeah. It's more like I never really played in real life. I would always sometimes get cards, but I played a lot of Magic Arena
Right, okay,
because
yeah.
it was just easier to do. I love
That's meant
doing
to be really
drafts.
good. I've never played it, but I've heard that it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's essentially just Magic Hearthstone.
Right.
It's like you just play Magic, but I love drafting. So like the drafting in that game is really good. You just pay and then you draft against people, or you can draft against a robot, and then you just play against other people with your draft decks, and it's very addicting. And you can
Nice.
lose a lot of your money,
Right.
but at least I'm having fun.
Yeah.
So,
What losing money? You're having fun losing money.
well, at least when I lose money here, I get to experience the draft. Like I get to play the games with my draft deck. Because once you play games, and if you win your money back because you're like winning games, and it's like you play. I forget 8. I think it's if you get 8 wins, you get like a bunch of money. If you get like 3 or 4, you get your money back. But
Oh
once you
wow.
lose 3, then you've lost. So it's possible you go 0-3 and you get nothing.
Oh no. That would
So
be me like every time.
yeah,
Have you tried the Bazaar?
I have. It was pretty fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I liked it.
I hear good things about it, but I have not tried it myself.
If
But
you like
I
auto battlers,
oh, I do.
you'll probably love it then.
Gosh, I really do like auto battlers. That's such a weird genre that's sort of taken off in the past couple of years.
It's kind of funny because I remember we played years ago. I can't remember how long. We played a Warcraft 3 custom game, and it
Right.
was an auto battler. It was like Pokemon auto battler, and I remember being like, this game genre would be so much fun if people just made it. And then like 2 years later, it just like blew up, and I was like,
Yeah.
well,
The
there it
first
is.
one I ever played was the Dota one. They had
Yeah, the
like
Dota one.
a Dota one. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was just Dota. Was it Auto Chess?
It was auto
Dota
chess. Yep.
Auto Chess. Yeah. And I remember playing that and thinking like, man, they have got to make more games like this. Like this is such a good format. Like it's such a good genre. And then sure enough,
Yeah, it's
loads
nice
came
because
out.
it's not too intense, but it's still very strategic.
Yeah. Yeah. I find like I played Team Fight Tactics,
Yeah, I love
and
TFT.
I liked it, but I found it frustrating because it's like, there's too much. like it's not simple enough for me, like
They have added a lot, yeah.
yeah, like all the different weapon combinations and stuff, and I just like in the end I kind of got like a bit lost with it, like
Hmm.
you try to like come up with like a strategy and like it'll work like, in your first couple of games because you're playing against other people who've never played before or
Right.
whatever, but then slowly you start creeping into, you know certain things that you have to do because
Yeah.
some, there's
The
always
sweat
like
lords.
yeah, there's always like some comp that's amazing that everybody's trying to get or whatever, and like I know like Hafu played it a whole bunch, and she was like telling me about it because like, like the sort of like beta would come out for the next patch, and they would just be like staying up all night playing and like trying to like solve it and
Yeah,
stuff,
it's
and
a
and then
math
she would,
problem.
yeah, and then she'd be like, "Oh, well, I don't really need to play anymore because I've solved it." Like she
Yeah.
just figured out like the best comp and won so many times. She's like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'll just wait for the next patch now. Like it's too boring. Like I've solved it." Like Jesus,
There's
come on.
I think there's a lot of people like that where they love that kind of
Yeah,
mathematical element to it of like
yeah, they like
solving.
figuring it out. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm never
um,
that because I'm already
no,
terrible at math. So
me
I'm
too.
just like, I just try to do stuff that wouldn't normally work and hope it works. That's my
Yeah,
favorite thing to do.
yeah, fun stuff. I want to be like, because I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile. I want to do like, I want to have like a repository of like dad builds. So
Yeah.
like, builds that you don't actually have to do anything. Like it's
Mm.
just like an aura that melts everything, or you just walk around a bit and everything just explodes around you. You don't even need to press buttons. Like, just keep it really easy. Like you're a dad, you got like 5 minutes to spare. You just want to watch a bunch of stuff blow up. Keep it cheap, like affordable, like accessible, not too complicated. I feel like, I could carve out a niche. I could have like some really exquisite dad builds, for all your dad build needs.
That's the thing is like, there's so many kids now playing games and like going on YouTube and Twitch. So like now that market is like, it's booming because all these younger people that are like in their 20s are appealing to those kids the same way,
Yeah.
we got our audience. But here's the thing, they're going to get old,
Oh, they
right?
are. Yeah,
And
God,
then
it's coming. Your time,
it's
like,
the
don't tamper with
revolution.
time. It's ticking. It doesn't stop ticking.
Yeah, no,
Trust me.
it's our time will shine again, and the
Yeah,
growth will
well,
be.
I think our heads will shine like through baldness from getting old. Like, I'm there. Like, I'm
I still got
shining.
my hair. I'm still good.
Oh, geez, lucky you, man.
Yeah, and
I wish.
I'm 35 now, and I'm still not losing it. I'm like, a
Gee.
little bit, but like still full head of hair. Granted, my grandfather he lived to 95, and he still had pretty decent hair. So I think I got that.
Some people do. My wife's great uncle lived till 93 years old, and he had a full head of pure black hair, not a single white or gray hair. Like
Wow.
he just looked like an old man with a wig, but it was his natural hair. Like he just never got any grays or anything.
Wow.
I
That
know.
is that is pretty great
It
to hit
happens.
that
It can
point.
happen. And I mean, there's no way he dyed it or anything because, like, I mean, he was so old school.
Right.
Like he's born in like 1921 or something like that.
Yeah, they're not gonna
He
do
like
that.
he used to cook his dinner and then put it like in a cupboard. Like he'd eat like a bit of it and then put the rest in the cupboard and then eat like the rest of it for like another meal like later on in the day.
Like he had
So
no
like
idea of what a pathogen or bacteria were growing
didn't
on it.
give a shit. Like that's just the way he'd always done it and that was it,
Hmm.
like so that's how I'm pretty sure he didn't use any hair products whatsoever. Like
Yeah.
there's no way. So like this was a natural occurrence. So I don't know. It can happen.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, if I started losing my hair, I wouldn't even mind going bald. I feel like at that
No?
point you got to commit. It's like if you're the guy who's still like holding on to it, like that's what it feels like. It's the guy who's got like kind of balding, but it's still there, and they're like combing it over and
Yeah.
doing. It's like just let it go.
You got it. Well, what do you mean let it go? What, just start shaving it?
Yeah, exactly. Just get rid of
Just
it.
start going like
Embrace it.
like like Bruce Willis's hair. When Bruce Willis was starting to bald, he would just shave his head all the time, right? But he
Yeah,
still looked pretty cool.
that's what I'm saying. If you just go full bald, that's like you've embraced it. You know who you
You've
are. You're just
embraced it.
like, this is who
Yeah.
I am now, and people I think respect that. And they're just like, that's pretty cool. Especially if you got the beard or the goatee still, and you got that like motorcycle man look at that point.
Yeah. I don't
Although
know. I
it
think
just
I
kind of
think Larry
depends.
David would disagree with you.
That's
He
true.
feels like I think bald people, there's a lot of disrespect for people who are bald. I don't
That's
know if
true
people
too.
are actually saying, "Oh, he's embraced it and he's cool and stuff." They're
Yeah,
just too busy laughing at how bald
it
uh,
depends.
they are.
Well, I think it depends on how you deal with it, because some people will have that kind of insecurity, right? Like some
Yeah,
people just be like, "Stop making fun of me. I don't care that I'm bald. You are an idiot." Like that type of thing. It's like how I'm only 5'7", and I could be like, I wish I was 5'11", then I'd be living the dream. But I'm just like, I don't care. And so because I don't care, so many people are like, "Wow, I thought you were taller."
you can get
And
like some extensions in your shins, like to make you taller, but then you'll
you're
look
good.
really weird because you'll just have these long ass shins.
Yeah, and then I'll have
You have
debilitating
to wear
shin pain.
jeans for the rest of your life, and if you ever wore shorts, people be like, "Ah, look at your shins, weird
Exactly.
shins. What's happened to you?"
Yeah, and then you're just like, man, I wish I didn't do this to my shins.
God, I wish I didn't get these extensions in my shins. This is bad. This has gone wrong for me. What do
So
you think?
it's
You think Captain Jean-Luc Picard ever, retired from a day of, being the captain of the Enterprise and retreat to his quarters and just be like, "They're all laughing at me. I'm bald as hell." Like, you think he ever just felt a little bit insecure, or do you think, he had a lot of confidence because he was a Starfleet captain?
I mean everybody's got to feel a little bit at some time. But it's
Sometimes.
about how you deal with that insecurity. Are you just like, hey, you know what? That's the way it is, and you just move on, or do you just let it dwell? You can't let it dwell.
There's those episodes where Q would like board the ship, and I always thought that would be such an easy one. Q could use his like weird magic or whatever and make Picard feel self-conscious that he was bald, but he
Hmm.
never did. Maybe that just
That's
makes him a good person. I don't know.
it. Probably does. Yeah.
He's like some sort of Samaritan. He's just
That's, that probably is more that.
yeah,
But yeah, it's really how you deal with the thing. It's like how people are just like, wow, they're always like, you have tall person energy, which really to me just means you don't get insecure about it.
no, I mean I think like I've always been tall, like I guess luckily,
Hmm.
but when you're a little kid and you're tall and you're the tallest in your class or one of the tallest in your class, it's pretty good because nobody really messes with you at all.
That's
Like
true.
even if you're known not to be good at fighting, people still generally won't really pick a fight with you because you just got the height.
That's true.
So
It's
it for sure it has lots of advantages, but I mean that also is an advantage.
there's a lot of I mean, it's you got both. You got advantages and disadvantages. You get on an airplane, you got to
Yeah,
crunch up into the little seat there,
true.
and it's just all
Yeah.
bad. Then
If you
people.
want to drive a Mini Cooper, you basically have to remove the front seat and drive from the back seat
Exactly.
because
Your
those cars are
dreams of
small.
Mini Cooper driving are completely crushed.
Yeah, they're too small. Yeah.
And then you're just taller in general. You might hit your head on something. I've seen
True.
plenty of my tall friends, like we're in my friend's basement where we're playing the Warhammer. He's got a little like thing that comes down on the ceiling.
Oh
So
man.
many heads hit, but
What
me,
if you
perfect.
got those old houses with crawl spaces? Forget it. You're not getting
Yeah,
in there. You're not having a good time even if you do get in there. It's too tall.
yeah. And then the
Awful.
older you get, you might have more leg pain, more knee
Oh,
pain,
back
back pain.
pain
Yeah,
as well. Yeah,
yeah,
chronic. Like tall people suffer from it a lot more, don't they?
yeah.
They get lots of like limb pain and back pain and stuff.
So I mean,
I'm not quite
there's
there yet, but my body is in active betrayal mode now. Like it's
right.
just a matter of time. It's getting worse and worse. So I'm gonna be 45 this year.
Oh wow.
45 years old. I know.
How's it actively betraying you now?
Well, I mean, I had a whole bunch of like prostate stuff, which I'm sure I told you about
I
last
do
time.
remember that. Yep.
So I mean, that was a pretty big fu from my body to me.
Right.
Um, and well, just like the normal wear and tear, like sounds like my knees sound like a rustling plastic bag
Oh,
every
yep.
time I stand up, and yeah, just like back pain, like lots of like just stiffness and soreness, like I'll just
Hmm.
sleep. I don't even sleep that long. I wake up and my body's just like, oh yeah, I've been in a coma for 3 years and not, we're somehow I've slept for like 4 hours and I'm in like atrophy. Like I
Right.
don't understand why my body wants to do this, but there you go.
You have more trouble
So.
falling asleep.
No, that is one thing I don't struggle with. I don't struggle to fall asleep or sleep. If
Mm.
anything, I wish I just got more sleep.
Right.
With small kids, it's impossible,
Oh, yeah.
like I mean, we just had Christmas and stuff, so
Hmm.
they were up at like 5 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Terrible.
look at Santa brought me all this stuff. Oh my God. At 5 in the morning? Come on. Like
Yeah, why can't Santa come at like 11:30?
yeah, right. God, Santa really wants everybody to sleep in this Christmas. He's decided,
And he said if you leave your room before 11 a.m., you're not getting anything.
You're on the list next year. Yeah, God.
It's honestly, yeah, I hate like not getting enough sleep. Like if I sleep under 5 hours, I'm just like, but if I do it too many days in a row, like you really just are like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, you go crazy too. Like your brain needs the rest,
Mm-hmm.
and you just start getting like a bit like weird and delirious and stuff. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, it's no good. But
No.
I mean, sometimes you just can't help it. It's
Yeah.
like
It's certain things that you used to be able to do you can't anymore. Like I remember when I was a kid. I say kid, but like in my early 20s, still kind of
yeah.
kid. Uh,
It's I mean it's long enough ago. It's not
yeah.
that long ago, but I suppose
I don't
like
even consider myself like an adult until I was like 30, maybe
no, but
29.
I don't know if at 35 you're quite at that stage, but like at my age now, I look back at pictures when I was like 25 and was like, who's that? Like
No, yeah, I
what
definitely
the
do
hell
that.
happened to me? Like, it's crazy.
I have pre gallbladder and post gallbladder is what I
Right.
have. So I had
But did you went through a lot of physical changes?
uh in terms of gallbladder or in terms of just in general.
No, like you generally, like
Oh yeah.
like if
Well,
you see a picture of yourself before you had your gallbladder out, do you think you
e-
looked like a lot healthier?
I looked worse.
Oh, you looked worse.
Yeah, funnily enough,
Oh yeah, because
because
you're when you got your gallbladder out, you went on like a big health kick, right? You started
yeah,
going to the gym and stuff.
yeah. So it
See, I did
was.
the opposite.
Oh,
I
got
had
it
mine
out.
out and I was like, I am never exercising ever again. And you know what? Ever since I had my gallbladder out when I was 28, I'm going to be
Hmm.
45. No exercise, not even once.
Wow,
I know.
what a what a admirable feat to
So
look
proud of
up to.
myself.
It's funnily, actually, not funnily. I got mine out at 28. It was the
Did
same
you?
age.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
except I started exercising, and it was actually the greatest thing that could have happened to me because I prior to that, like my blood pressure was starting to go up. They're like, "Is it genetic?" And I'm like, yeah." And they're like, "It's gonna probably be bad. Then you're gonna have to go on meds." And
Oh
then they're
man.
like, "Your gallbladder's gonna get out, digestive issues, like all this stuff." And then after I got it out, I was just like, "I got to do something." Right? Like it's
Yeah, I mean, blood pressure is like it's pretty scary. I'm
yeah.
lucky, like my blood pressure is fine. I think if I had like some signs of anything like that, I would probably be scared enough and start you know taking care of myself a bit better or whatever. But
Hmm.
it's just
It's one of those things where yeah, you just kind of go through life and you're like, oh, whatever, it'll be fine. But then I think that kind of woke me up to being like, I did all these things and it wasn't fine. So like
no.
maybe I should take care of myself. And
I mean,
so
generally, I think you should anyway. Like,
yeah,
it's definitely the right the right move to like
yeah,
stay in shape and stuff like that. But oh God, I'm
Mhm.
so lazy. Like it's unbelievable.
Well,
If I can get
it's
away with it, I will try to. You know, like to just do the bare minimum.
right. The thing is, like, I actually enjoy working out. Part of it, I think, stems from just getting in the habit of it.
Yes, yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
one of the
Because
biggest things.
it's a change to your lifestyle, but it's one that you can definitely keep up with and sustain if you make it into like a routine, a habit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. And I'm also the type of person where I like seeing other people doing the thing. So,
Yeah,
like, I like being in the gym because other people work out, and then my monkey brain is like, they work out, I work out. Like, there's nowhere else to go. And I kind of am the same. Like, if I go to a library to write or work on something, I'll be like, other people are working on things, I work on things. So my
yeah,
brain's
yeah,
very
yeah,
much like that.
yeah.
So I
No,
think that
that's
helps.
good though. So like, so you have a membership. You go to the gym like what, a couple times a week, every
I would
day,
say every day except maybe like one day, I'll take an off day.
right?
But I'm
Okay,
working different muscle groups every day.
right,
So like I'll have arm day and then I'll have like back day, leg day, and
right.
then do like a rest day and then do like more of an intense cardio and then kind of reset it. So when you have variety, it also helps a bit to
Yeah,
keep it all fresh. You're not just going every day like it's elliptical time again. Which I think is what a lot of people
yeah,
do. They just go to the gym, they go on the treadmill elliptical, and then that's it. And it's like there's
yeah.
other things you can do, right?
Yeah, I guess like I feel like probably, and I would be in this boat as well. I would be looking to do one thing that just covered the most things, you know, to keep
Right.
it simple. But I don't know if that's always the answer. Maybe it's not.
I mean, doing one day of everything still better than doing nothing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's going to be vastly superior than doing nothing.
true. I mean, I just kid myself into thinking like, oh, you know, I got to pick my kids up, physically pick them up a lot, and you know, do like lots of like dumb chores around the house around them and stuff, and that probably keeps me like somewhat in shape, but it doesn't. Like it's just I'm
Well, I mean,
lying to myself.
it's. I don't think you're completely lying. I think it is good. You're doing better
Yeah,
than somebody that's just sitting around all day, just
I
streaming or
suppose. Yeah,
watching TV or whatever. But
yeah.
it's you
I
could be
mean, I
doing
do
more.
do a lot of that as well.
Right. Well,
I'm just
I
like,
mean, rest is still just as important.
yeah, yeah,
So there's actually studies where I've read that marathon runners and like athletes and like crazy people that go like nonstop exercise, right? Like they actually are wearing their bodies out. The same
have
way
you ever been
how
tempted to do something like that, like a marathon or a triathlon
not
or
at all.
something like that? Not never.
Never.
No,
I too much
me neither,
exercise is
funnily
like
enough.
because it's like bell curve type of thing, right? Where if you're not
Right,
doing
right.
anything, it's really bad. But if you're doing some
Yeah,
exercise or like above average or even a little below, it's like good. And then it kind of drops back down because you're just running your body into the ground,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah. Because they say like you know, like a lot of people like running and jogging and stuff, and it's like
Hmm.
it's okay in moderation, but too much of it you can like mess up your knees and stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not like
just
you're not meant to run like that much sort of thing, you know? Like
yeah. Well, it's like think of a car. If you drive your car nonstop, like constantly, it's gonna wear out faster.
yeah.
So it's like you don't want to just burn your body out completely.
You want to get a tarp over it and let it sit in the garage for a bit.
Yeah.
Just take it
Let's
out on a Sunday. That's me. I'm just take it out on a Sunday, you know. It's
think of like athletes too. Like how many athletes they get into their like 50s, 60s and they're just their body's like completely shot.
oh God, like even some of the more demanding sports, like you know, like well, like I guess for you guys, soccer, like football over here.
Mm.
I mean, well, NFL football.
Yeah,
I
NFL
mean, they
football especially.
retire pretty young as well, don't they? Because
Yeah.
it's just so. Most of them are just have like multiple concussions and stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like it's quite high impact.
Yeah,
But
the concussions are probably the worst part.
I feel like baseball, they don't retire that early, or at least they
Yeah,
did.
no.
They used to not really, because I remember some of like the pitchers especially seem to be quite old. You know,
Yeah,
like
there's still some pitchers in their 40s pitching pretty
y-
well.
yeah, yeah. Because I guess it's just. I mean, there's obviously there's technique to it and stuff like
Mm.
that, but maybe it's you know, maybe it's easier to maintain than I mean, like you look at something like football. American football is a lot like it's stop and start, but it's still
It's
you
like
still need
rugby
like a lot
or
of stamina, right? But like
yeah.
you look at like English football, and it's just like, man, that it is quite a big field, and they're just running up and down it for you know
Oh yeah.
90 minutes. It's a long time. It is a lot of I like you can see why they get kind of tired, like, mid mid 30s or so. They're generally thinking of packing it in, sort of things.
Yeah. Well, it's and even in the NBA, LeBron, he's like 40 something. He's like 43, 44, I think.
Is he? Wow, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
he's getting up there and he's still going.
Yeah.
But he's also like a
And
mega athlete.
is there any signs of him retiring, or is like they people must ask him from time to
Yeah.
time, like, when are you going to be done? But I guess if he's still, I'm assuming he's still top of his game. Like, is he still
He's
scoring a lot? And
still very good. He's
yeah.
definitely not as good, but his big thing now is he wanted to play with his son, and so his son got drafted by the Lakers, and he's
Oh
playing with
wow.
his son, but his son's also not great. It's one of those
All right.
things where people are like, "It's his kid," right? And then they're like, "Okay," and they think he's gonna be as good, but he's just kind of not. Like if he
Not as
wasn't his
good.
son, he wouldn't be in the NBA, like that type of
God,
thing.
that's got to be pretty rough, eh?
Yeah,
Like, you just think, oh, my dad's so good. That means I'm going to be good.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you're not. Oh, jeez, that
yeah.
would be really be
He's
brutal.
got to do something to your mental, but
Yeah, I
he's.
suppose so. Yeah.
But it
Man,
is
oh
kind of
man.
cool that he's doing that.
Yeah. What? So is this like a this year thing? Like, is this
Yeah,
just happened, or is this? Oh, okay.
yeah. It was
And
literally
how
this
old's his
year.
son?
I think he's like 18, 19.
Jeez. Yeah. God,
Yeah,
that is young, isn't it? I
yeah.
mean, that's the thing. Like, you get drafted at 18. I mean,
Hmm.
even Jordan, when he was drafted at first, he wasn't spectacular, was he? Like,
No.
he
Well,
just
he
he
also.
became really, really good. But I mean, he was always like pretty good though, right? Because
Yeah,
he was scouted and stuff in the first place. But
he's still like the second overall pick or whatever. So you're like
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good. But he also went to 4 years of college first, so he was like early 20s by the time he was drafted.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
A lot of these kids now, they're just like straight out of high school.
18 is pretty young, but I mean, you get it in football over here as well. I mean, I think Wayne Rooney was like 16 when he started playing. I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty young. You're playing against, people who are like in their mid to late 20s or whatever, and they've been playing for a long time. You're 16 years old. Like,
Yeah.
that's got to be pretty daunting. Like, your mom is still bringing you to like your practices and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's I mean even like the age difference when we play our like Warhammer games cuz like our one friend hosting it, he's like in his mid 40s. I think he's about your age and he's got two
Right.
kids that are like 7 and 5 and they're like running around being like bleh! And his wife's
Yeah.
just like shut up like, screaming at him.
We're trying to play Warhammer here.
And then we have me who's like mid 30s and there's like a couple people they're like 30 or like 29 and then there's like a couple people in their early 20s and like just hearing like cultural differences of growing up
Yeah.
in like the different internet ages and like TikTok and all that. They'll just like find TikToks and like be like, dude, this one's hilarious, and I'm like, I don't really get it. But all right.
Man,
Like
oh man.
but you still like get along, and it's like you still have that mutual interest of Warhammer, and you still like
Yeah,
it.
of
But it's
course.
it's
Yeah.
just like the humor styles and like all the different ways you act. I mean, it's the same way where if somebody my age is like watching something I find funny to like someone who's like 50, they're probably gonna be like, I don't get it, right?
Yeah, I know. It's weird, isn't it? Like, my son watches like a lot of stuff on YouTube. Him and his friends watch a lot of like Fortnite stuff, and occasionally he'll send me something. And I can hear him upstairs just like laughing super hard, and he'll send it to me, and he'll be like, "Watch this," and I'll watch. I'll be like, "What the hell am I watching? I don't even know what this is." Uh,
Do you get anything where like your kids are like my dad's a streamer or whatever and then everybody's like hey you're the streamer dad?
Yeah, like a little bit. Like, some of his friends know that I stream or have a YouTube channel or whatever, and equally some of them don't.
Hmm.
But they've always been like all right about it, you know? Like
Yeah.
they don't really say much about it. I think it's weird because if you're not doing like the most popular thing at the time, they don't really care, you know?
Right.
They just think I'm just like in here playing with my train sets or whatever, you know, like it's not.
Yeah. If you're playing games that people their age don't care about, it's like
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Like the guys that they're watching are they're younger guys. And you know, they just you know, they're always calling each other bro and stuff like that, and like
Yeah.
you know, it is, you know, it's kind of like the popular thing of the day, you know.
I've definitely heard like, bro, are you serious, bro?
Oh bro,
Bro,
are you
dude, bro, are
serious?
you
Yeah,
look
lots
at
of
the way you
dudes.
shot me, bro?
Yeah, lots of that. And I mean, it's fine, you know, like we had all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, but it was just different. But like I don't know, like I get involved as much as I sort of can, but you gotta leave them to it a little bit as well, you know. Like they've
Yeah.
got their own. You don't want to be cramping like his style or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's got friends and stuff. Like you know, like if I come in the room and he's on like a call with his friends or whatever, you know, like I'll be like, oh, you know, how's it going? He's like, oh, yeah, fine. But then he'll mute and you'd be like, yeah, fine, yeah. You know, like you know, you
Yeah.
get like the different versions of him, sort of thing. But
Yeah.
it's all it's all part of becoming a teenager and stuff, you know.
Yeah. No, I remember that too. Just because you start to become more self-aware, I'd
Of
say, of
course,
what's
yeah,
around you, and you're just like, why am I acting this way? Like, is this cool? And like, you start analyzing people around you more instead of just being like, I'm
yeah,
a
yeah,
kid running around.
yeah. Like he's him and his friends have met like this group of girls, so like you
Ah,
know
yep.
they're everybody is just sort of figuring out, you know, who's who and what's what and stuff, and it's very funny to hear them chatting and you know and hanging out and stuff like that, because again the way that they sort of spend time with each other is so different to like you know how say me and my wife would have spent time with our friends like when we were growing up. But
Hmm.
uh I don't know. You just kind of go along with it a bit and just hope that they're not sending nudes to each other
Yeah.
and
That's
all that,
really all you can
all
do.
that crap. Yeah, hopefully not. I know we try to like listen a little bit just to make sure that
Yeah.
there's nothing like weird happening, but for the most part, like I'm sure they're not. Like, but
Yeah.
I mean, occasionally you'll hear one of them say, "Guess what I just saw on TikTok?" And it's you know all of a sudden they're just having like a 10-minute conversation about like horse cocks or something like that, which is not the best. But
Yeah.
uh,
Never
gotta
want
leave them.
that.
No, never. But it does happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, as someone who also grew up on the internet, it's
Yeah, you can't
it's
avoid it, right?
yeah.
There's always going to be something. Somebody's going to find something, and then you
Mm.
know everybody gets obsessed with it, or it becomes like the funniest thing for 5 minutes, and then moves
Oh
on,
yeah.
sort of thing.
I remember like E-Bombs World. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It's like just stuff like that. There's a lot of
E
weird.
Bombs World. There was the one called Stick Fight. You remember
Oh yeah, I remember Stick Fight. Yep.
Stick Fight?
Yeah.
And then Newgrounds. You had all
Yep.
those games on
Yeah, I
Newgrounds,
love
and
Newgrounds.
yeah,
Yeah, it was I don't know, it's like for me again, it's like kind of the same but different where like I kind of get
old
it.
internet. Yeah,
Yeah, where we were in it was like the Wild West. You know, I
yeah,
remember when I first uploaded my first WoW videos for like unreleased Cataclysm trailer, and I called it that because the Cataclysm trailer came out, and I was like, what if I say it's unreleased and people click on it? So like I was already Mr. Beasting it at that point.
that's how you did it. That's how you got into it.
Yeah.
That's oh my
And
god.
so, like, back then, nobody made video. It was like official WoW video, like some random dude recording his like PvP video on Fraps, and
Yeah,
then me making this
no
video.
commentary.
Yeah,
Like
and
usually some sort of like death metal playing in the
yeah, or
background.
like
Yeah,
Linkin Park.
yeah, yeah.
And so I
I know.
did that, and then I was like number 2 in the search rankings. I was like, all right, that was easy. Cool. Now,
That's amazing.
now it's like the Hafu thing. They're like figuring out mathematical formulas for like posting a thumbnail and like what
Yes.
title to use, and I'm like,
Oh
dude.
man, like the algorithm and stuff. I saw this thing on the news, and it was like it was a whole bunch of streamers. They were set up like in an underpass, loads of them, and it was because they were trying to like game the like geographical location something, or I don't
Jesus.
know. I can't remember technically why they were doing it, but they were all there because basically it was like some exploit in where they were showing up, like for like geographically, and there
Mm.
was like a potential for them to get more tips or donations or something. It was like there was all women, and they were all like, they have like their streamer lights, like the
Ah,
ring
yep.
lights and
Mm.
everything, and like a little makeup cart next to them and stuff, and I just thought, geez, this is crazy. Like it is just gone. It's gone crazy.
There's too much content now. Like we need
Yeah,
to dial it back. We need to start shaming people for creating things.
yeah. We're on
Just
99% clean, by the way.
yeah,
Do you know where the last little? There's
I
like
don't know
one
where.
little.
It's
There's a
got to be
speck of dust
somewhere.
somewhere.
That remind me, I was in the grocery store. I think it was Whole Foods, and I was like buying something in the aisle, and this kid runs up to me, and he goes, "Take the sock, take the sock, take the sock," and I was like, "What?" And he's like, take the sock," and then I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about," and he's like, "You don't know?" And I was like, "No," and then he ran off. And I was like, "Am I on TikTok right now?" Like, I was genuinely confused. And then
Yeah.
I looked it up later. I brought up on Cox and Crendor. And then Jesse was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I think you're having a fever dream." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm telling you, this kid ran up and did that." He was like, probably like 10, right? And so somebody in the comments found it. And they're like, "I found the video. It's called Take the Shot." And this
Take
guy,
the shot.
yeah, so this guy on TikTok, he goes up to like random people, which it's clearly scripted. Like the entire thing is fake. And he goes, "Hey, what's your name?" And the guy's like, "Oh, David." And then he goes, "Take the shot, take the shot." Like he's calling it in to the like sniper on the roof or something. And then the guy's
Right.
like, "Holy shit." He just like runs away to hide. And then it plays the most stereotypical laugh track of like, it's like, and
Take the shot.
yeah,
Take the shot.
take the shot. And so he does this like numerous times on numerous TikToks, and it's like the exact format this kid did. Like he walked up to me, he's like, "What's your name?" And then he's like, but he was like, "Take the sock." It's I could barely, and then I was like, "Wait, is he saying take the shot?" And then I think when he realized that I wasn't gonna run off and like be afraid and it was gonna be a funny goof and he'd laugh to his friends, I was just standing there confused. He just ran away because he was like fight or flight. He was like, just like left.
I don't know. I don't know.
This isn't like the
Oh my.
TikTok. So yeah, that was my real
Uh,
life TikTok experience, and I was
y-
just like, I feel, I don't know, it felt weird.
I'm surprised that I haven't like seen more, because there's lots of like not I don't want to say crossover, but like, a lot of this does spill out into the real world, like IRL
Hmm.
streamers, like, they go shopping or whatever. But
Right?
like, I can't say that I've ever been to like a restaurant or anywhere and seen somebody live streaming. Like, I maybe it's just because where I live, but even if
Yeah.
I'm in the UK or whatever, like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone. But
I've
like,
seen like
I-
some people in like Target, like not common, but like once every like couple months, even. Like I've
sure,
seen
yeah,
kids like doing TikToks. Like I remember these two girls were in the parking lot and they like set their phone up on the car and they're like dancing. So I was like, that's
right,
clearly a TikTok.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like stuff like that. But
yeah.
I don't see it as much as I thought I would, which
No, I
maybe
guess
it's
maybe
good.
like it's maybe different. Like if you live, like, you live in like a pretty big city, so
Yeah, I
like
live in
maybe
Chicago, so it's like,
more likely to see like stuff like that from time to time. But
mm,
yeah, I don't know. It's like I like every time I see something like even something like somewhat out of the ordinary, though, I'm always like, oh shit, I hope somebody's not recording this. Like, I hope I'm not like part of some weird prank
yeah.
on YouTube or whatever. Like, I'd hate to be that.
Oh yeah, no, I'd hate that too. Just
Yeah,
putting some compilation together of like weird old man.
yeah,
Look how weird
God.
he is.
Look at him. What's he doing? You're
He's
like picking
short.
your
He's
nose,
bald.
picking your ass at the bus stop or whatever. Like, oh shit, this guy's bald. Yeah, he's bald. Picking his nose, like all the hallmarks. Look, the skate park floor is dirty somewhere. Like
Oh, it's the
we're missing
floor.
like one little bit, and also these stairs. No, this rail. I
I
think
forgot
is
the
a bit
button that
dirty.
tells you what it is.
It's not a button. Like look in the top left, and it'll tell you
Right.
when you're like looking at something. So like, see, it
Uh.
says like
Oh,
wall
yeah, I
quarter
see.
pipe, and then you'll see there's like a little bit.
Yeah, there's a
There'll be like a
little
little bit
thing.
that's
Yeah.
not blue.
Yeah, I see that. Let's see, maybe under
And
these
if you
benches.
press tab, it's like the cheater mode. Like it'll show
That's what
you.
I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see.
It's rail.
I don't
What the
know.
heck?
I always just said I think my favorite part about the old internet was it was just less accessible. And I think there
Yeah.
was something to that because I feel like having a phone where you can constantly access the internet is the issue. It's like you used to have to go on your computer, you sit down, you dial up to the internet, and it's just slow, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then now it's just like phone, look. It's just constantly there.
Man, even if you wanted to like download a picture back then, it would like load so slow,
Yeah.
like you want to like download a cool picture of like your favorite member of like the Wu-Tang Clan or whatever, and
Right.
it's just like 20 minutes later, from top to bottom it's loading. There's like that used to be like a thing on TV, remember? Be like somebody be downloading like a nude picture of somebody, but it would take
Yeah.
forever to like download.
It like gets
Like,
stuck.
yeah, and it gets stuck, and then they get caught doing it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much anymore. Gosh, you can just like you can stream
Yeah.
a nude picture of somebody to your phone, like
To
like in the
all your
blink of an eye.
devices.
Yeah, yeah.
I
You can
don't.
play you can play an online. You can play WoW on an airplane like
Yeah.
at 30,000 feet, no problem. You wouldn't
Yeah.
even get any lag. Probably do like a whole raid up there.
You probably could. And I don't like that.
You don't like that?
No, like it's again, it's like it's too much.
I suppose it is. Yeah,
I think we need to dial it back. There's
you need to go back.
in fact, one of our friends, Alex Faciani, who does a lot with Jesse, he was
Mhm.
here because we did a live show,
Yeah.
and he was like, I want to create a like society, like a commune, but he's like,
Right.
it's not like a cult. It's just the year 2013. And he's like, the whole thing is at any point you can come there and it's like 2013. The technology's all from 2013. The shows and stuff's 2013. Like everything's 2013. And he's like, I just want to create that and we can all just go back.
You just want to be stuck in 2013 forever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the whole premise for Fallout, like he'd basically have to build a bunker
Yeah.
and you'd have to build a bunker and decorate it with stuff relevant to 2013. He'd have to drug a bunch of people, drag them down to the bunker, and then slowly revive them, convince them that it's 2013 and that they've been in a coma for quite some time, but as far as they know, it's 2013 and the world has ended. And that would be the easiest way, I think, to do it.
Yeah. No,
I don't know
because
how else you're going to do that.
well, Jesse kept oh, I got that. Jesse kept
Nice.
trying to find the flaws. So he
Right.
was like, "Can I kill somebody?" And he's like, "No, it's 2013. You couldn't kill anybody in 2013." And then Jesse was like, he was just questioning constantly, being like, "All right, what if I bring in outdated, or what if I bring in future technology?" And he's like, "Well, remove it until you leave, and then you can have it back." And then he's like, "All right, can I sell drugs?" And he's like, "Dude, it's 2013." It was a fantastic conversation. We also do live shows. I forgot to mention.
So you guys like book out a venue and you just like chat like on stage sort of thing.
Yeah. So we usually do like one or two a year, but it
Nice.
revolves around the idea that I hate traveling now.
Right.
Because we traveled so much in our 20s that I now just hate traveling. And I
So
was
you
like,
just-
listen, I'll do it if you come here. And so we get a venue in Chicago. And,
Right.
it's a pretty good location. Like, if you're anywhere in the country or even, like, out of country, you can fly in. Like, O'Hare's major airport.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of the
And
biggest in the world, isn't it, O'Hare?
yeah, it's like third
Pretty
biggest,
sure.
or
Yeah.
it's up there. And so yeah, I'm like, I don't gotta go anywhere. I just drive there, and then there we go.
Nice.
So
And
yeah,
they
it's
don't
fun.
mind. They're up for traveling, whereas you're
Oh
not
yeah,
so much.
yeah. Jesse
And
loves traveling,
they'll
so
come out. Yeah,
he
because Jesse, well, I don't know if he does much anymore, but he used to come out to the UK like at least once a year, right? He's
yeah.
like
I think
CoxCon or
yeah, I
just
used
to
to have
visit.
CoxCon
Yeah.
because I went to CoxCon twice, and that
Nice.
was the most I've ever traveled for like because it's like a 7 hour flight. That's the furthest I've flown, and that's the furthest I think I ever will fly.
Well, listen, I've also been to CoxCon twice, but
Oh,
it was two that you didn't go to.
it is.
And I don't think there's been many more than four, possibly.
I
So
think that was all the CoxCon.
we managed to perfectly avoid each other at CoxCon.
Yeah, we did see at BlizzCon uh, each other.
That's right. Yeah, we did go. We did go. I think we actually multiple BlizzCons
Yeah, I
potentially.
think
Right?
so. I remember
Sure,
we
we
ate
did.
at IHOP.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, the true delicacy of American cuisine.
That was glorious.
Yeah,
That's a lot of food. I mean, like we
yeah,
don't get me wrong, we get like a lot of food over here, but it is like it's a novelty. Like I mean, I grew up in North America, but like I
right.
still even like if I'm traveling with people from the UK, like it's hilarious because
Yeah.
they're just like I have to eat all the food that's given to me. Like
Hmm.
I'm
Yep.
not taking the food back with me. I have to eat it all. But like but the portions are massive, so it's oftentimes it was like people almost throwing up in the car on the way home and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
great.
they're not true Americans.
Nah, nah, no, they don't
It's
know.
yeah,
They just
it's
don't know.
uh, the big thing for me with all that food too is it's like such high in sodium. Like I was talking about blood pressure, and like one of those meals, you get like 5,000 milligrams of sodium in it. That's
I
like
know. Yeah,
that's like 3 days worth just in one meal.
and I think in North America as well, there's a lot of sugar and sweetener added to food
Yeah,
as well, like more so than in Europe,
yeah,
I think. Which if you're if you struggle with that, it can be pretty brutal.
yeah.
If you're not used to it. I mean, I'm used to it. I'm
Yeah, yep.
just
I mean,
put
I
sugar.
loved I loved the British Nando's because we had American Nando's and it was good, but like the British Nando's, like it was just I don't know. There's just something about it.
Just something special about it.
Yeah, it's just cheeky.
Do you know? I've honestly, it's cheeky. Yeah, it is. It's known to be. It's known to be cheeky. I've never eaten at a Nando's.
Wow,
No, I know.
that's
It's
pretty
just
wild.
well, there's
Why
no
not?
one. I mean, the thing is, I live on a really small island, so it's
Uh,
not. We don't get like a lot of like the what we call like the mainland stuff.
mm, you're like
Like
those tribal people that
yeah, that's it.
like
Yeah,
shoo away the
we still
technology.
don't know that World War II has ended. Nobody sent us the message. Um, yeah, it's a weird one, but yeah, Nando's. I mean, I'm vegetarian as well.
Oh, I see. I mean, they had like a mushroom
Yeah,
type of
there's
thing, which was
options.
good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What do you think like options are in North America like for vegetarians, vegans, and stuff? I guess dietary stuff is always really well catered for over there anyway.
Yeah, it also kind of depends where you are. Like if you are in a city, you're gonna have a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're in the middle of Montana, you're probably gonna have less luck.
I find like the UK is pretty good, like for catering to like vegetarian, vegans, and stuff like that.
Mm,
Somewhere that is not though is France. Oh my god,
really?
yeah, it's just like I went to like this huge grocery store. Like you're talking like a Walmart, like the size of a Walmart,
Right.
like food everywhere.
Mm.
Went to the sandwich section and every sandwich has ham in it. Like they just can't get enough of it. They got to have ham in
They
their
love ham.
sandwiches. They just love ham, and it's impossible. Like, you're just like looking for like something simple, just like a cheese sandwich. Just I'm starving at this point. I just need
Mm.
something to eat that doesn't have ham in it. Nope,
Damn.
it just
Ham.
doesn't exist. Yeah.
Damn ham.
Damn, just ham everywhere you everywhere you look.
There's
Okay, we're
something.
missing one wall now, by the way.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
one
walking
wall.
around holding tab for the cheat.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I can't find it. It's got to be one of those hidden areas. What made you vegetarian, by the way?
My wife, she's been a vegetarian since she was like 12 years old.
Oh wow.
When we first got together, when I first moved here, I wasn't a vegetarian.
Mm,
But in the end, I'm like, and she was not like, you have to become vegetarian, you know,
right.
she was fine with it. And every once in a while she'd, like, like I would get something that had meat in it and whatever. She didn't mind. Like, she
Mm,
just did her own thing, I did my own thing. But then in the end it was just a lot easier to, I would never really go out of my way to prepare meat or anything like that to eat.
mm,
And I just sort of coasted into like her diet sort of thing, and then it was just easier to become a vegetarian. So I just thought, oh well, let me just see if I can do it. I'll just I'll try for a bit. And then I've been a vegetarian for like 15 years or something now. It's been a while.
wow.
Yeah, I know. Maybe even
That's
longer actually. It's been a good long while. But I like, it's weird. Like at first, there's a couple of times like really early on where I was like, oh god, I'd love to have like a ham sandwich.
yeah. Especially when that's all you can find.
But I mean, like I could probably count the amount of times I thought that over the years, like on one hand. Like it's just like not often enough to, like, for it to be like any sort of big deal or anything.
yeah.
So it's just easier. I
Yeah.
think generally it's just, oh, I found the wall.
Let's go.
It's this one right here. I don't know what's
Uh,
missing on it though.
I see over here.
It's like
I
this
mean,
little sliver triangle one here.
okay, I see.
You got a jetpack? Oh no,
No,
that's
I'm
your
just
spring.
I'm just blasting. It's gotta be around here. Yeah, I just I eat meat, but I try to like I make it a thing to eat vegetables and fiber and stuff with it because I think that's the big thing. People don't eat enough like vegetables and fiber and fruits.
Yeah, I think meat, like, I mean, meat is a nice thing, like a nice kind of, if you have like a steak, you want to have something with it. You're
Yeah.
not just eating a steak. You want to maybe have like some potatoes on the side, or like
Hmm.
some carrots and potatoes or something
Hmm.
like that. Would be kind of nice.
That's
I
like
don't know.
every Sunday we grill steak. It's like our steak night, but we buy one steak and we split it. So,
Right.
because like one whole steak is actually just a lot. So, and it's expensive. So
Yeah.
that
Well, no, I mean, yeah.
yeah. So we do that, and then we'll have asparagus, and we have like garlic, kale. We like saute
Ooh,
some kale, and then we grill up some potatoes, and like it's good.
that's nice. There
But yeah,
you
it's
go.
like it's one of those things where you don't want like only meat and then a couple little like things. It's like having a good portion of
No,
everything.
no, you don't want to have like steak with like bacon on top of it, and then like a pork chop on top of that,
Yeah, it's
and
like a
it's
carnival food.
it's like too much meat.
Yeah, but there
You
are
want to
people
you
that
want
eat that.
I know, gosh. It was what was something about Chicago. We were watching the Jerry Springer documentary on Netflix, and one of the guys on there was like, we had these people that were coming in from all these small towns, and they'd never even seen a filled pizza before. And they showed this pizza, and it was like filled with fish. I'm like, man, it looked so nasty. Like it was huge. It was like a huge pie with like a pizza, like with cheese as like the top bit, and then just like loads of fish inside. I couldn't believe
Oh,
it.
that sounds
Yeah.
terrible.
Have you ever had one of those?
No, I've not. I've had deep
Okay.
dish. Like,
Yeah, I mean, deep dish is great, but like
yeah.
this was like, I'd never seen anything like it before in my life. But this guy was talking about it like it was like, I just ate
Huh.
like three of those, no problem, like every day.
No, I
It's
just in fact when I have pizza, I don't really like meat on pizza. Like my dad, he's like sausage on this pizza now, and I'm just like I don't really like the meat pizzas.
Yeah, yeah.
It's too
What
heavy.
kind of what's your go-to pizza? Like, do you put like you don't have like pineapple on them or anything, do you?
I've had pineapple. If I get a barbecue chicken pizza, pineapple actually goes really well because you get the sweet with the savory, and
Sure.
then I went to Blaze Pizza. I don't know if you got that, and they do that, and they had like some goat cheese on there, which like I actually like goat cheese. I'm
Oh,
a big
yeah,
fan.
goat cheese is nice. It's got a
Yeah,
bit of kick to it, right? It's like,
yeah, it's a little tangy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
so I like that. And you get all the different flavors. So like putting pineapple on tomatoey pizza is just like a little too acidic and sweet. But if you get that like
yeah,
barbecue sauce like base
yeah,
instead of
yeah, yeah,
tomato, then it kind of hits.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Well, yeah,
but
you a bit of sweetness in that would be like a good combo. But like
mm,
you said, just on a cheese pizza,
yeah,
I guess like a Hawaiian has ham on it too, right? So
yeah.
like,
So it's kind of getting those savory flavors
yeah,
in there. But like normally, I'll just get like we'll get like green pepper, onion, mushroom, maybe like spinach on there,
yeah, it's nice.
and maybe like garlic.
Like a veggie delight, like a veggie lovers.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, even if I
Yeah,
get a deep dish, I usually get like that combo as well. Like it's
yeah,
just it's not overpowering or anything, and it kind of I don't know. Like when you get meat in there, it's just like you already have the fattiness of the cheese, and then you're adding the fattiness of like sausage or something, and it's like
yeah. He just like doubled over for the rest of the day.
yeah.
Basically, it's
And
too
I don't have a
much.
gallbladder,
No,
so it's gonna be
yeah. I
even
mean,
worse.
that's yeah. You don't have any emergency bile squirting
Yeah,
in there. You're just relying on your stomach to do all of it.
yeah. And then your body's just like shit. God
Yeah,
damn, I gotta fucking digest this.
it's just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh
whoa,
man,
there we are. Look at
I gotta go to bed. It's late.
that. Oh yeah, I guess it is. Are you?
I know.
What time is it there? Is it?
It's quarter to 1 in the morning.
Oh yeah, you're like 6 hours ahead of me. So right now
Yeah.
it's 6:40
Yeah,
some.
because you're central, right?
Yeah,
Like
I'm central.
Chicago Central. Yeah.
Hmm. Um. Well, we did it. We cleaned the park.
We did
Yeah,
100%
hundred
cleaned.
percent.
Not bad. It looks
Yeah,
good, doesn't it? It comes up nice. It's
yeah.
better than when it was covered in diarrhea before, it looked like. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't
I
know
don't
how
know
it
what
got that
happened to the
dirty.
skate park. Yeah, I know it got real dirty
Like someone just came there with dirt and just started throwing it all over.
everywhere. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was all over the place. But
Um.
not
Well,
anymore. It's clean.
we did it. So thanks for watching and listening, everybody, no matter what you did. If you want to go watch Sips, I'll put your Twitch link in the description because I feel like that's probably your main
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. And we have more power washing in the past. If you want to go listen to those for whatever reason, I'll link that too.
I'm sure we'll have some more in the future. Maybe not a year next time.
Yeah. Maybe not a year. Hopefully not. And,
You never know.
you never know. Yeah. Life.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time. See ya.
Bye.